The Indiana Fever is definitely paying attention. They have quieted down some critics that thought Stephanie White was in the hot seat. Well, I'm here to tell you, she ain't in the hot seat no more. And her job might have been saved for the foreseeable future after this post they just released a few hours ago. Now, Stephanie White has been one to silence critics in the past with just, press conference interviews and doing all of these very things. But I'm here to tell you, shout out to the Indiana Fever admins, because they rubbing their hands together today.
The Fever admins didn't just post a photo, they dropped a tactical nuke on the entire WNBA conversation. They released a series of posts that effectively silenced the rumors and signaled exactly what the future holds for Caitlin Clark. No more speculation, no more hot seat whispers, and no more questioning who is in charge. This was a calculated move that left everyone, including Stephanie White herself, reeling from the sudden and very public commitment from the front office. The message was sent loud and clear. The leadership is locked in, and the critics are officially being ignored. The Indiana Fever admins were practically rubbing their hands together when they hit send on this one. They knew exactly what kind of firestorm they were starting. They released a get-to-know series that wasn't just a simple biography, it was a defiant statement of intent. This wasn't just about celebrating Women's History Month, it was about drawing a line in the sand against a growing tide of fan frustration. While thousands of fans have been calling for a coaching change, the front office just handed Stephanie White the keys to the kingdom for the foreseeable future. They listed every single accolade to build her up as an untouchable icon of the game, from her 1995 Gatorade Player of the Year award to her legendary 1999 national championship win with Purdue. It looked like a resume for a Hall of Famer, but when you look closer, you realize that many of these achievements happened nearly 30 years ago. The game has evolved into a high-speed, high-scoring era that looks nothing like the 90s. Fans are pointing out that, while her history is impressive, the level of competition today is on a completely different planet compared to her playing days. Then came the photo that really sent the internet into a tailspin. It was a carefully staged image of Stephanie White alongside Aaliyah Boston, serving as a visual signal of power and mentorship. White spoke about the gratification she feels from pouring into people and instilling a sense of belief in her players. It was clearly designed to show that she is the perfect mentor for the next generation of superstars. However, to many skeptical fans, it felt like a direct PR response to critics who claim she doesn't know how to properly manage or develop young, explosive talent. But here's where the story gets incredibly messy and a bit suspicious. When the Fever's official post conveniently skipped an entire massive chapter of her coaching life. They were happy to list her time at Ball State, Kansas State, Toledo, and even her early years as a Fever assistant, but they completely erased her tenure at Vanderbilt from the timeline. It's the one period that fans keep bringing up because it was a coaching disaster that many believe reveals her true ceiling. By omitting it, the Fever front office inadvertently highlighted the very thing they wanted everyone to forget. Let's look at the cold, hard numbers, because they tell a story the Fever admins didn't want to share. During her time at Vanderbilt, White went 46-83. That's a losing record by any definition of the word. Even more alarming was her performance against SEC teams, where she went a dismal 13-54. She never managed to secure an NCAA tournament appearance during her 5-year stay. The program didn't just struggle, it bottomed out under her watch, eventually leading to her being fired because the school desperately needed a complete change in direction. Can you imagine being a high-level head coach and only managing to win 7 games in an entire college season? That actually happened under her leadership at Vanderbilt, and it's the primary reason fans are currently terrified. They see this history and wonder if that version of Stephanie White is the one who will be calling the plays for Caitlin Clark. They see a coach who couldn't cut it in the SEC and are asking why she's being trusted with the most valuable asset in the history of women's basketball. It's a gamble that has the entire fan base on edge. To her credit, White did go back to the WNBA and worked tirelessly to rebuild her damaged reputation. She took over the Connecticut Sun and won the Coach of the Year award in 2023, proving she could win at the professional level. She became an all-star coach and even a Commissioner's Cup champion. champion. On paper, she looks elite again, but that Vanderbilt baggage is like a dark shadow she can't seem to outrun. The Fever's attempt to hide her past failures only made fans dig deeper and scream louder about her perceived incompetence in high-pressure roles. The biggest fear among the Fever faithful isn't just about wins and losses, it's about the specific style of play. Stephanie White is known for a defensive, slowed-down approach that prioritizes structure over speed, but Caitlin Clark is a high-octane, to transition scoring machine who thrives in chaos and deep range. Fans are already sounding the alarm that White's rigid playbook is going to stifle CC's natural talent. They're terrified that the greatest shooter in college history will be relegated to a simple floor spacer, while the ball moves through a slow, outdated system. The comment section on the Fever's post turned into an absolute war zone within minutes. One fan pointed out a past comment where White allegedly said the Mavericks move the ball better without Luka Doncic. If that is her coaching philosophy, what does that mean for the most dominant ball handler in the draft? Are we about to see a system where the star player is sidelined in favor of team ball that doesn't actually win games? It's a terrifying prospect for anyone who wants to see Caitlin Clark reach her full potential in the professional league. There is a massive and growing movement of fans who are demanding that White let Caitlin play her own style. They don't want to see a repeat of the Vanderbilt years, where players seemingly regressed or failed to develop. They want the unleashed, three-point hitting version of Clark that sold out arenas across the country. But White's track record suggests she prefers a much more controlled and predictable approach. This fundamental clash of basketball philosophies is the ticking time bomb sitting right in the middle of the Indiana Fever locker room. Why would the Fever choose to post this controversial retrospective right now? It's clearly a PR shield designed to protect the coach from mounting pressure. By highlighting her 2012 championship as an assistant and her recent accolades, they're trying to drown out the negative noise with a flood of positive branding. They are essentially telling fans that the front office does not care about the Vanderbilt years. They are fully committed to White for the long haul, regardless of how much the internet hates the fit between the coach and the new star. This post was way more than just a history lesson or a Women's History Month tribute. It was a formal confirmation of her future with the organization. It signaled to every critic that Stephanie White is not on the hot seat, despite what the rumors might suggest. In fact, she might be more secure in her position than she has ever been. The front office is doubling down on her as the mentor who will shape Caitlin Clark's entire professional career. They want her to be the one providing confidence and belief, for better or for worse. White herself emphasized this in the post, saying her cup is filled by passing on lessons to young leaders and players. She clearly sees herself as a vital mentor, shaped by some of the greatest coaches in the history of the game. But the disconnect with the fan base is very real and very deep. Fans don't want a mentor who teaches safe or traditional basketball. They want a visionary who can fully capitalize on a once-in-a-generation talent. The tension between the front office's vision and the fans' expectations is becoming absolutely palpable. Some fans have even started to question the broader cultural influence the team wants to project. There is talk about the organization wanting Caitlin to influence young women across the country in a very specific, curated way. While many see this as a positive step for representation and the growth of the league, others are worried that the focus is shifting. They fear the priority is moving away from winning basketball games and towards social branding and corporate messaging. It adds a whole new layer of complexity to an already volatile, high-stakes situation. There is also a heated debate about whether her playing days should even be part of the current conversation. Winning a national title in 1999 was a legendary achievement, but the game has changed so much since then.